Now, regular viewers of this channel will know that I am an enlightened modern man. A male ally of women's causes. A male feminist, if you will. Yeah, I'm not ashamed. I'm just that good of a guy, you know? And I'm brave enough to tell people that I believe in women and feminism. So, shoot me. And for these reasons, I was delighted to see that yet another female artist was stunning and brave enough to come out and denounce the sickness that our society is suffering from. Still suffering from. Now, far be it for me to tell a woman what to do as a man, but I think my record on women's causes stands for itself, so maybe I can make a recommendation. Meghan, get this girl on your podcast. My eardrums are salivating at the prospect of hearing Meghan Markle and Self Esteem turn meaningful conversation into action. Because we all know what happens when you turn meaningful conversation into action, don't we, Meghan?
I think once you turn meaningful conversation into action, game changer.
That's right. Self-esteem on not being cool, not being completely skint, and not having her bum pinched. Some people, men, some people are scared to pinch your bum now, says the musician Self Esteem, pondering the question of change for women in the music industry. Oh, how many nights have I spent pondering that question away? I'm like, that's nice, that's great. And she gives a sarcastic thumbs up. How do you do a sarcastic thumbs up? Is that it? Is that sarcastic enough? She gives a sarcastic thumbs up. Because as women have felt more emboldened to speak out about their experiences of misogyny, harassment, misconduct and abuse in all sorts of different fields in the wake of the Me Too movement, so has followed the talk of change and promises to do better. I'm always saying that to men. Do better, guys. Come on. Be like me. But Self Esteem, real name Rebecca Lucy Taylor, one of the most critically acclaimed British pop stars with one of the most critically acclaimed albums of the past 12 months, is having none of it when it comes to the issue of whether things have really moved forward for female artists and women working behind the scenes. I nearly had a stroke reading that sentence. No is the short answer. She elaborates, exasperated, on her experiences of the trope. I knew she'd be good for Meghan. The trope that successful female performers who dance and sing must be merely pop puppets. Let's be honest, how many of you can honestly say you don't remember sitting around on a lazy Sunday afternoon with your family and your dad would be getting slowly more battered, you know, beer cans all lying all over the living room, and he's getting a bit sloppy with his speech and everyone's starting to get upset, your mum's crying, and all that would happen. And then Top of the Pops or some other music show would come on, and it'd be a female artist singing about half the time. And your dad would just start rambling in a drunken rage, you know, probably throw a couple of cans at the screen, break something, I don't know. And so I'd say, she's merely a puppet, she's a puppet to the industry, bitch. And then he'd, you know, chase you out of the living room. And, you know, we've all been there, and you all know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I mean, this trope that women are just merely pop puppets, of course. It's a fucking tragedy. I think people don't think I write the songs. Yeah, my dad wouldn't have. Jesus Christ. If you'd have even well, anyway, I don't want to, let's not get into it. I think people think I don't write my own songs. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. Still, nothing has moved much in terms of the way women are treated in this industry, you know? Everyone just thinks we're merely pop puppets. Apart from the decline in bum pinching. Yay, that's nice. In terms of respect and validation and, yeah, being considered as legit as male artists, it's really far off. No female artist is taken. Merely pop puppets, right? That's what everyone thinks about women. Yeah, it's really far off. Stuff like this might help. And stuff like this is the prestigious Mercury Prize, for which Taylor, 35, is shortlisted for her second album. So what she is saying is, if she wins the Mercury Prize, feminism has won. Misogyny is gone. So essentially there is a lot at stake here, people, right? It's not just self-esteem potentially winning a prestigious prize. And she doesn't care if she wins it. It's not about her. It's about women. It's about the world, right? That's what is at stake. The world, right? Progress is at stake. If she wins, it's a win for feminism. It's a win for women, right? If she loses, we're basically saying to women, you're no good for anything other than cleaning the cave, and let the men get on with killing the mammoths. That's how backward it would be if she did not win this prize. Anyway, her lyrics cover everything from self-acceptance to objectification and misogyny.
Sounds interesting.
And the expectation for women to have children. Ridiculous. In this day and age, women having children. Ugh. Dinosaurs. Issues that have resonated with many nihilists. Oh, it doesn't say nihilists. It genuinely helps me because my wiring is like, well, this is all well and good, but when are you going to meet someone and when are you going to have a kid? And what if I don't want to? What if it doesn't happen for me? Does that mean I failed?
No, 1,000 times no.
It's funny how often people have internal dialogues and they externalize it and they sort of convince themselves that the world is saying something to them or making them do something. That's all on you. Don't want kids, don't have them. But you'll be a lonely old spinster. Thornback, as they're called sometimes in some circles. Now, you ready for another little dose of pessimistic, misanthropic nihilism? It just felt like this penny started dropping, and I was like, my whole life has just been this weird, slow trudge to the inevitable. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to feel about starting a family. A slow, weird trudge towards the inevitable. You know you're gonna die, don't you? Your doom will come sooner or later, and that having kids is about the most fulfilling thing that you can do as a human being. I'm not saying everyone has to do it, but the slow, weird trudge towards the inevitable is the slow, weird trudge we are all on, kids or not, right? We're all slowly trudging weirdly towards our deathbeds, because that's where we're all going. I do feel, I don't think I can really explain it, but that a lot of the time we misplace our fears on things like having kids or getting married and stuff like that. That really what we're scared of is the fact that time is finite, and we want to live in constant bliss because in the back of our minds is constantly, it's there somewhere, that the end is there, it's coming, and we pretend that it's not. And that is the weird, slow trudge, right? Because defeat is inevitable. Doesn't matter how glorious and victorious your life is, it ends in defeat. So, there you go. Take that away from today's video. That's a nice soundbite. So I've watched a couple of other interviews with this woman, Self Esteem, and actually she doesn't sound like a vacuous idiot like some of these people do, and I think it's actually Sky trying to get her to say certain things, to be honest, to try and push a narrative. She just talks a lot about self-love and self-esteem and stuff like that, and I think she had some interesting points in a couple of interviews I've seen with her, you know, sort of talking about how you need to learn to love yourself before you can be helpful to others around you and things like that. And she doesn't focus too much on feminism and stuff like that. She's just kind of talking about her own experiences. So kudos where it's deserved, you know, and looks like she's doing pretty well for herself. So that's all great.
Really broad appeal.
No, not all. And my point is, like, I think just being alive is very difficult. It's like existing, however you identify is hard. And but I think we've been taught a sort of stiff upper lip, get on with it, you know, keep calm, carry on kind of thing. And big feelings, they're not negative. Like, I've always been very emotional, and it's been sort of a bad thing. But now I'm realizing it's just a very normal thing, and I put it into my music, and like. And if people get something out of it, I'm really glad. But yeah, I sound like I'm trying to start a cult a bit. But
healthy dose of self-awareness there, and yeah, sounds like quite a genuine person. And from my neck of the woods. Notice the accent, yeah. Turns out she's from Rotherham, which is nice. Anyway, that's enough for today, I think.